cut down the trees and make wood to build homes. And we have to have land, and there is no compromising this.
Defending black women and black children and black babies and black men.
The truth must be recognized by the black man. But the word economics comes from the Greek eikonomikos, but it has come to be defined as the science of production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services, or the material welfare of humanity. Now, a blueprint is something defined that acts as a plan, a model, or something providing guidance. An economic blueprint is exactly what we need.
1, 2, 3.
Doctor, you in the house? Lawyer, you in the house? Teacher, you in the house? Preacher, you in the house? Tell me something. If you don't eat well, how long will you practice law? If you don't eat well, you become the patient, doctor. So don't look down on a farmer, look up to a farmer, because today it will be us farming our own land, producing our own food that will save our lives. It hurts me to travel and see us so dependent on others for the basic necessities of life, when the richness of our land is there to produce all that we need and then some.
Defending black women and black children and black babies and black men.
The truth must be recognized by the black man. We are an international people. Our brothers and sisters are all over the world desirous of doing business with us. But if we are not producing anything, we can't enter into trade and commerce with the nations of the earth. As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote in Message to a Black Man, quote, as a people, we must become producers and not remain consumers and employees. We must be able to extract raw materials from the earth and manufacture them into something useful for ourselves. This would create jobs in production. We must remember that without land there is no production, and the surplus of what we produce we would sell. This would help develop a field of commerce and trade as other free and independent people whose population is less than that of ours, the so-called Negroes. The truth must be recognized by the black man.
We're talking about revolution because that's the era that you're caught in. You're caught in a revolutionary era.
Defending black women and black children and black babies and black men.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad outlined some basic principles. Number one, recognize the necessity for unity and group operation. Do you understand that if we can work together as a group in unity, we will be more successful, more powerful, more able to do the things that as individuals working by ourselves we have never been able to do. Pool your resources physically as well as financially. Stop wanton criticism of everything that is black owned and operated. Keep in mind that jealousy destroys from within. Observe the operations of the white man. He is successful. He makes no excuses for his failures. He works hard in a collective manner. You do the same. Now, these are things that we must do. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad asked us to commit to save 5 cents a day. He said if we can save just 5 cents a day from our wages, 25 cents a week for 52 weeks in the year, that would mean we would put aside $13 a year that we could save in a national savings treasury. At that time that he wrote this, we numbered 22 million people and approximately 5 million were wage earners. Well, if 5 million wage earners save $13 a year, this would mean 65 million saved out of our wages in 1 year. At the rate of 25 cents per week, it would be painless. Today, brothers and sisters, don't you think we can do better than what we were asked to do 48 years ago? According to government statistics, there are a little over 16 million blacks employed at some level. Well, look what happens if we raise the economic bar and contribute the same nickel a day. The truth must be recognized by the black man.
Defending black women and black children and black babies and black men.
Greetings, beloved family. I begin in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. I bear witness that there is but one God. Welcome to the Black Agenda here on the Street 919 FM. I am Brother David Muhammad. And over the next 2 hours or so, I'll be sharing some powerful information with you. And in a short while from now, we'll open up the telephone lines on 3420081 and 4665391. So, welcome to the Black Agenda, this program that is dedicated and committed to raising levels of consciousness and self-awareness among African people, in particular, for the purpose of boosting the self-esteem and confidence of the youth and creating within their minds an ambition for the future within a mental frame whereby they don't see limitations, they don't see shortcomings, they don't see barriers and obstacles, but only see pathways to success. And it is essential at this stage that we promote that kind of consciousness with our young people in particular. So, African Liberation Day 2025 in Trinidad and Tobago at the Kwame Ture Center was not just a great success, it was a historic success. Because not only did we as a group or a community or an organization celebrate a great occasion, but we stood in solidarity with the rest of the world regarding the African diaspora and standing up in support and recognition and acknowledgement of our great brother, President Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. Now, family, tomorrow at 11 o'clock at the Kwame Ture Center, we do part 2. Because to be honest, for the presentation that we did at the Kwame Ture Center, it was really more focusing on the platform that Brother Ibrahim Traore stood on and how he got to where he got to. We all globally recognize the magnificence of Captain President Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, but too often we as a people in general see all of these icons and images of great leaders and we celebrate them visually without being too knowledgeable of what they stood for. So at African Liberation Day 2025, we examined 10 great African leaders who were platforms to catapult the consciousness of Traore into action in commemoration of that great African proverb that says, I can see further ahead now because I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. And we have to appreciate the background, the history, the backdrop, starting with President Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, the first independent president of an African nation in the New World, who was concerned about the resources of Africa staying in the hands of African people after colonization was coming to an end. Next was Sekou Touré of Guinea, who was threatened by the French that if you pursue independence, that you will lose a lot of benefits and your standard of living will drop. Not that the French cared, but the French were concerned about their access to the resources of Guinea. Those first two countries, Ghana under British colonization and French under French colonization over Guinea. You had our own former Stokely Carmichael of Trinidad and Tobago, who took the first name of Kwame Nkrumah and the surname of Sekou Touré, formed the name Kwame Touré and started the All African People's Revolutionary Party. Those were two of the pioneers of African independence against the will and the wishes of the Europeans. But we also had our great brother Ndamne Azikiwe of Nigeria, who in the 1930s wrote an article questioning how is it black African people are worshiping a white image of God that they call Jesus when Jesus was an African. Azikiwe was put in prison in the 1930s as a journalist for promoting that kind of consciousness, but he became the president of Nigeria in the 1960s. We have Jomo Kenyatta of Kenya, who said when the white man came to Africa, he had the Bible, we had the land. He taught us to pray with our eyes closed. When we opened back up our eyes, we had the Bible and he had the land. They plotted against Jomo Kenyatta, just like Patrice Lumumba of the Congo. The French and the Belgians plotted his assassination because they feared his consciousness spreading to his African neighbors who would all take a stand in resisting European imperialism. Number 6, Emperor Haile Selassie of Ethiopia, who warned African people to not confuse religion with spirituality. Religion, in its structured form, came from the Europeans. Spirituality came from the soul of African people. And they are brainwashing us with their religion while killing our spirituality. Number 7, the great Nelson Mandela of South Africa spent 27 years in prison fighting against a government-sponsored system of institutionalized racism called apartheid. Number 8 was Idi Amin Dada of Uganda, who also took steps within his society to ensure that African people were empowered by African resources. Number 9 was Robert Mugabe of Zimbabwe, who again was demonized within the modern era because he was taking back land that was stolen by white people from black people, and he put measures in place to give back the stolen land to African people. I mean, you would have seen the meeting at the White House between President Trump of America and President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa, where Donald Trump, President of the United States, zealously, with passion and enthusiasm, defending white people. He himself said it. He said there are white people dying in South Africa. The entire delegation from South Africa, in front of the world media, tried to explain to Donald Trump. But South Africa has a very high murder rate. We have a terrible crime problem. Over 99% of the murders are most likely black African people. It's a cosmopolitan society now with a history of whites migrating there. So one or two white farmers in between were victims of murder in the same way that thousands upon thousands of black Africans. But Donald Trump was not interested in the death of the black Africans. He said to his staff, turn off the lights, and he ran a video of speeches of activists in South Africa, such as Julius Malema, who are calling for black people to take back stolen land. President Trump had a whole stack of newspaper articles of white people who were killed. And he said that was his concern. So imagine how they will feel about Robert Mugabe, number 9, and then number 10, the most direct influence on President Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso, the great President Thomas Sankara. Now, one of the first things that Thomas Sankara did was urge his people to stop taking the European medicines and medication, because Europe had a plan to depopulate Africa, to reduce our numbers through birth control and infertility drugs so that they can get the resources of Africa. He opened up local pharmacies, encouraged African pharmaceuticals and healthcare products. Then he reduced the salaries of government, increased the salaries of the general public, took away luxuries of government officials, stopped the importation of Mercedes-Benz, made the Renault the official car. He shut down a storage food facility for the army and transformed it into a public national supermarket. Now again, think. A lot of us, especially on this side of the world, think that the solution to the crime problem is more police, more guns, more soldiers, more patrols, bigger prisons, more security alarms and burglar proofing. But we fail to realize that the real solution to the crime problem is more justice, more equality, more fairness in society, better education, more opportunities for the youth, better sporting programs and youth facilities. And so Thomas Sankara opened up the first country's national supermarket. And he took a policy, he even took down pictures of himself in the official government buildings, because he said, we cannot put up all of the pictures of every single Burkina Faso citizen. That was how he was thinking. And he transformed government into a less luxurious role, but a more responsible role, and he protected his people from the greedy economic grip and stranglehold of Western and European nations. Now here comes President Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso, who is kicking out imperial forces. He said the French must go, the American military presence must go. He brought in the Russians. They held an Africa-Russia summit. He removed the borders along with his neighbors, Mali and Niger. And those three countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, which are now the union of Sahel states, and more African nations are joining them. They're doing trade with one another. They're empowering each other. They're ensuring that their economies are growing and the citizens are benefiting from it. And again, that particular approach, which I'm not sure that Caribbean governments are ready for, which is removing the luxuries out of governance and increasing and boosting the level of responsibility and accountability to the people. And America is watching, France is watching. The United Kingdom is watching. And they're thinking to themselves, if this kind of consciousness spreads from one African nation to another African nation to another African nation, Europe will get poorer, because Europe is rich because partially of the poverty in Africa, because of the stealing and raping and pillaging of the resources in the post-colonial setup of the relationship between African politicians and Western forces. All of those coups and revolutions and overthrows that you see in Africa, particularly in the former French-speaking states or the Francophone nations, many of them are paid for, funded, financed, and supported by the French government or the CIA of America or the MI5 of England. And we're looking and we're seeing, well, there was a coup in Burkina Faso, as well as in Mali and Niger. But here, what you're seeing is a coup in reaction to the control, dominance, and a modern-day slavery type of post-colonial relationship between Africa and the West that these leaders are now saying must come to an end. And this is the time, because a lot of political history has been taking place in Africa since the 1950s to now. But this, arguably, is the first time since that there is now a global movement surrounding the political decisions of one man, Ibrahim Traoré, in Burkina Faso, and it is spreading. If you have listened and followed the Black Agenda over the years, you would have learned about all these 10 great leaders, including Thomas Sankara. If you have gotten the great book, Black Studies, The Black Book Mind Revolution, or Knowledge is Power, both available at the Kwame Ture Center, you would have learned about these great men. But now we are coming of age, where this consciousness is being reborn. It's like a rebirth of these kinds of ideas. So, with the youth in mind, let me tell you, so much is happening this weekend. Because this morning, again, let me start with this morning, at the Kwame Ture Center, we start, I think it's cycle number 8 or 9 of the Boys Academy sessions, the George Padmore Boys Academy. We start back today and we run for the next 10 weeks. I am doing the session today on setting goals for the future. Young people on setting goals for the future. We serve free breakfast from 10 o'clock in the morning, and then the session starts at 10:30 sharp. Bring out the young people. Then, this afternoon, we have another very, 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 very special occasion. Did you know there is a journalist from the Gaza in Palestine who is currently in Trinidad and Tobago? He just came in and he is being featured today at the Kwame Ture Center in a panel discussion along with myself and Brother David Abdullah and our brother journalist from Palestine, Brother Yusuf Al-Helou. And we will also be linking in with another journalist who is currently in the Gaza, Brother Libre Sankara. He's a humanitarian volunteer. Currently in Gaza, we will be connecting with him via Zoom, but Brother Yusuf is in Trinidad and Tobago now. He came in yesterday, and he will be at the Kwame Ture Center today, giving you a first-hand account of the genocide, the murder, the killing of these innocent babies, children, innocent women, men. And then imagine after killing about 70 to 80,000 innocent civilians, Israel is announcing that they're going to step up their military campaign. And the world is sitting by watching this. Close to 80,000 innocent Palestinians murdered. But Donald Trump is more concerned about 6 or 7 white farmers in South Africa who were killed, and is opening up the United States of America to give them citizenship. Are you awake, beloved? Are you conscious? Is it possible that we're dreaming? So while countries from all over, in particular Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, and other countries of non-white peoples, Trinidad and Tobago got their share as well. We had 21 deportees coming in all over. Jamaica, but probably every single Caribbean country at least had their share. They're deporting people like rain, but trying to save small pockets of white people anywhere where they see white people at any kind of risk. This is the world today, beloved. So, at 1 o'clock this afternoon at the Kwame Ture Center, we feature this journalist, Brother Yusuf, who is in Trinidad. He's going to be at the Kwame Ture Center. And, of course, the other journalist, the volunteer, who's in Gaza. And we look forward to connecting live with him. It's going to be, again, it's going to be historic, beloved. And then tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock sharp, we do part 2 to our African Liberation Day message, where we'll be focusing on President Ibrahim Traore, his policies, his politics, his approach, the demonstration of strength in overcoming and resisting imperial forces. Something that unfortunately Caribbean politicians don't have a very strong history in doing. But now is the time, beloved. But last week, it was glorious. And I want to especially thank and salute, of course, the entire Rastafari community of Trinidad and Tobago, all mansions of Rastafari, the Nyabingi Order, the Bobo Shante, all the groups, all of the groups, 12 tribes of Israel, all groups. They have demonstrated an unconditional, fearless support for President Ibrahim Traore. Unconditional. I want to especially thank our beloved brother, Junior Bisnath of San Fernando, who is known as the man who leads the Moko Jumbies. He brought up some of the Moko Jumbies to the center. Imagine the Moko Jumbies. We marched, about 200 or so of us, from the Kwame Ture Center to the Brian Lara Promenade last week Sunday. And they had Moko Jumbies. Imagine that walk. It's not very, very, very far. It's about maybe a mile. Maybe about a mile. And imagine walking on those stills, the Moko Jumbies, for a mile. And we had the brothers who were dressed in the uniform of President Ibrahim Traore. It was such a warm occasion. And then when we got to the Brian Lara Promenade, we met other hundreds who were there. And it was just so fantastic. Our brother Dennis Muhammad of Guyana was with us. It was such. And at the African Unity Conference itself, some of our great guests. Of course, we had as a guest speaker Brother Robert LeHunt, former government minister, but who has invested in Africa, was into banking in Africa. Now, our brother became vocal recently in some of the issues with his political party, the last government, and his desire to reconnect those dots between Africa and Trinidad and Tobago, Africa and the Caribbean. He has such an admirable passion. We also had our brother, current senator, the only, and it's a shame that I have to say this, but the only African Muslim in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. This time around, last time around, time before that, Brother David Naked, who has also spent some time living in Africa and the Middle East. Was very interesting to know, believe it or not, Brother David Naked, senator, was actually married to, I believe it was the granddaughter of Robert Mugabe. Imagine that. A Trinidadian marrying the granddaughter of Robert Mugabe, but she actually passed away so sadly. This was some years ago. May Allah be pleased with her. Also, our Member of Parliament for Laventil West, that great shining star for the future, Brother Kareem Marcel, gave such a motivational presentation, as he always does. As he always does. And we thank him in advance for his involvement with the George Padmore Boys Academy. So he's going to be addressing the boys one of these Saturdays soon, within the next 3 or 4 weeks. And he always does an excellent job. He is a great inspiration for our young people. So it was such a magnificent occasion. And, of course, I want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much to everyone who helped make African Liberation Day 2025 the great success that it was. And I'll tell you, I'll just give you a sneak peek of this one. And just to give you a little advance notice on another great event coming up at the Kwame Ture Center. We will be celebrating 125 years of Pan-Africanism. Now, think, this will be another worldwide celebration. I am currently a part of a planning committee based in England for the replication of the first Pan-African conference, along with our great brother Stephen Golding, the president of Marcus Garvey's UNIA organization, a very close and dear friend. We've both been back and forth in England because July 23rd, 24th, and 25th, they're having a replication of this conference. Inshallah, I'll be speaking on the 23rd and 24th in London, and then I come back to Trinidad for our event, which will be at the Kwame Ture Center on July 27th. What is of special significance in this particular occasion is that, again, just like with Brother President Ibrahim Traore, how African people all over the world tuned in, unified, expressed their solidarity, marched together in different countries simultaneously. That last week of July 2025 will be similar as the world celebrates 125 years of Pan-Africanism, because it was in the year 1900 that we can say Pan-Africanism was born, because it was on that day that they held the world's first international Pan-African conference, which had, think about this, delegates from 30 different countries, all over Africa, all over the Caribbean. 30 different countries. Before we had the internet, before we had cable television, before we had electronic media or social media, before many people even had telephones and televisions, delegates from 30 different countries convened in London, England for the first Pan-African Conference. And what is of special significance in this occasion for us is that it was started by a Trinidadian, the great Henry Sylvester Williams. He was an attorney at law born in Arouca, Trinidad, who migrated to England in the late 1800s and became the pioneer for global black consciousness. And he was able to, for 3 days, have this seminar with all these delegates from around the world. Now, by the grace of Almighty God, Allah, I will be representing Trinidad and Tobago, the land of the leader of the birth of the Pan-African movement. But apart from just representing Trinidad and Tobago, of course, I'm part of the planning committee, which is just about 7 or 8 of us. Some very, very, very interesting individuals will be there. And we're actually using the same venues. You're going to hear more about this as it draws closer. But we're using the exact same venues that Henry Sylvester Williams used 125 years ago. 3 different venues in London. The black British members of Parliament are involved. Some of the black councillors, the black activists in London, England, and across the United Kingdom would be convening in on this great conference. It's a very, very, very exciting time. And we are flying the flag of Trinidad and Tobago in this 125-year anniversary of Pan-Africanism. Like I said, you're going to hear more as the time draws nearer. But I leave there to come straight back home, and on Sunday, July 27th, at the Kwame Ture Center, from 11 o'clock on that day, we will be having our 125-year anniversary celebration of Pan-Africanism. And we look forward tremendously to that. All right, family. Family, I've said enough. So let me open up the telephone lines. 342-0081 and 466-5391. So don't forget, tomorrow morning, 11 a.m., our lecture is Who is Ibrahim Traore and why is he so significant in this day and time? And of course, Boys Academy at the Kwame Ture Center starts back this morning, 10 o'clock. And this afternoon at 1 o'clock, we have the journalist straight from the Gaza in Palestine who will be with us, giving us a first-hand account of the experiences out there. All right, caller, are you there? Good morning, caller. Let me try another one. I hope we're not having that same issue from last week. Caller, good morning. Caller, can you hear us? All right, I'll try another line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Brother Mohammed.
Oh,
Brother Mohammed,
yes, good morning.
what is happening right now with the corona hole in the sun? It is true, and right now it start exploding and it's sending out magnetic wave and throwing a lot of radio stations and all kinds of things in different countries off the grid. So sometimes they'll have having problems because of the magnetic storms. It would be and so when it's short the plasma, basically that keeps affected. But Brother Mohammed, today is a spiritual day for me, so I cannot come out at all until tomorrow. But as I told you, now you hear me saying that I have over 4 billion followers, right? And now Africa, right now my main focus is not so much dealing with my followers on Facebook, but basically studying what is going on in Palestine and basically down in Africa. And I use my ability of doing predictions that basically assisting that. Now, Palestine will be soon, they'll bring that to a stop because America never understand what is going to happen. When there has this set of volcanoes exploding and it covers the blanket of the sky, no planes will be flying, the economies will crumble as it already is crumbling right now, because as the African countries start to stop selling raw material and selling finished products and cutting them off of things, and China has cut them off. Basically, their military thing is coming to, will soon be running out. The weapons will soon be running out and they wouldn't be able to produce. But with this that is coming, Brother Mohammed, they certainly will find a way of it, because I keep predicting what is happening, going to happen down in Europe and all in America and different places, and they've seen it. And I think just as how, and I'm using my predictions to assist with it, basically bringing that in Palestine to a close, Brother Mohammed, because that is unjust. And I definitely, and as I said, this is what is going to happen now. Because down in Italy, if you look at what is going on in Switzerland, where the mountains start falling off and mashing up villages and all kinds of things, and there's going to be flooding. And Italy, I know the volcano is starting to kick up. So right now, they'll keep understanding. But I predicted that, and I keep posting it, and they get copies, because as I told and people does this, and I said it on the program, all the CIA and all these different American departments in my following list, they track here. So I don't have to edit because of their predictions. And that is how I got my followers. So, Brother Mohammed, I might be able to come today because basically I would not be going out anywhere. I will have to be in for the day, and I have to be more concentrated on my method thing to control to deal with my energy. So maybe next week or I may be able to come out and end up something. But I do, as I move around, and I did assist in basically promoting it to the different people to tell them from what you listen sometimes from on TTT on Wednesday, where they have the program, the African program there, and what they was organizing for going up for this. As I move around, I was basically giving different people the information, so they can lock down on it. So, but as I said, I can't do much of that here. But also, Brother Mohammed, it's interesting with this thing with these guns. We had the conference where the Honorable Captain Jeffries and all of them came down here, and America made those guns illegal. It is now proven that Mr. Bissessa had thing there, because he seems to be promoting all these guns. Now, where she got all those guns from, she does not realize that basically that they are still under investigation. And she seems to be popping up more information in that thing. You're studying to be spiteful to other people, and the people watching you, but you're bringing these this multi before, but the moment before coming up to the election, through the election, the thing. So I used to be moving over the Lady Young a lot, moving from to Nova to a Cascade and back. Basically, but a moment for the day, sometimes just the short space of time, I used to see 6 accidents at thing. You see? So, Brother Mohammed, I'm locked on and listen. I'll cut my contribution for now. Brother Mohammed.
Yes, thank you. Caller, good morning.
Hi, good morning to you, Brother Mohammed.
Yes, greetings. Good morning to you.
I was reading in an newspaper article earlier in the week, where more women, more female are applying for FUL I don't know if you read such an article or came across such a
Applying
story.
for licensed firearms?
Yes, FUL. Yes, more women.
Well, I'm not surprised, but I do think it is a terrible mistake. I think that if they give out these licensed firearms in the quantity that some are anticipating, yes, the murder rate might
Will increase.
no, listen. The murder rate might go down.
Down?
Yes, listen, let me finish. If they introduce these firearms users licenses, the murder rate might go down, but the homicide rate will skyrocket up. Because you will have less criminal cases of one person killing another, but you will have a whole lot more cases of persons lawfully executing other persons whom they may be able to present to the courts with a reason. That person looked suspicious. This one was trespassing. This one was a danger or a threat. That one was wielding a cutlass. This one here had a weapon in his hand. And you will have a barrage of excuses of people killing people, and over 90% of those cases, I believe, will be African people, because that is how it has always been. For years we've been talking about this, and there have been many cases, many cases of this. But you'll have to call back. I'm so sorry.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
Campari, Red Passion, embrace the mix.
Campari, Red Passion, full action, this is Red Passion. Embrace the mix, add Campari, make it turn and twist. Add your chaser in your drink. Campari, Red Passion, make the nicest mix. Campari!
Campari Red Passion. Embrace the mix. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Men, women, tired of the invasive, painful old methods of testing prostate and breasts?
The Institute of Health and Fitness Clinic and Wellness Center offers comprehensive and non-invasive diagnostic testing, which indicates the nature and extent of diseases and tests your nutritional levels. Our quick testing can identify early signs of problems by evaluating many of the bodily functions, such as male and female sexual function, gastrointestinal function, liver function, kidney function, thyroid function, heart and brain function, and also cancer testing. Results are comparable with other medical lab tests without the use of needles or embarrassing specimen cups, and is pain-free. We also offer all natural treatments. Visit us now at number 79 St. Vincent Street, Tunapuna, or call 492-7397 or 289-6363.
Don't miss May Mega Deals at Furniture Plus. Come enjoy massive savings store-wide today. Get up to 50% off mattresses, up to 45% off living room furniture, up to 40% off bedroom furniture, up to 25% off appliances, up to 20% off electronics, and much more. Buy now, pay later with affordable hire purchase plans. Plus, earn Caribbean Airlines. Travel miles when you shop with us. All Furniture Plus stores open today. Hurry in. These deals won't last.
Celebrate the men in your life this Father's Day with a gift of health from Big Mike's Wellness Center. Body scan value at $400 now, $200. Get in on this special now.
This Father's Day, we making it messy just how Dad likes it. Buy any messy sandwich on the KFC app for just $34.95. And you could win a 75-inch smart TV, a barbecue grill, or a wireless sound bar. Crunch it, drip it, gift it. Promotion ends June 11. Only at KFC. It's finger-licking good.
This time check is sponsored by Lambeau Credit Union. Always here for you. Blessings in the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You are invited to listen to the Final Hour broadcast heard every Monday from 12 midnight to 5 a.m. in the morning on The Street 919 FM radio. Here my mom, Pastor Helen Garcia, and myself, Pastor Valentine Garcia Jr., preach the Word of God to the elderly, youth, and children. We can be contacted at 629-0113 or 623-8444. The church is located at 26 Prince Street in Port of Spain. We look forward to you joining us. God bless you.
As my life I lay it on the altar, as my life.
Planning your Tobago getaway? Choose the highest Google-rated car rental company on the island, O'Neill Auto Rentals Tobago. Located just minutes from the A&R Robinson International Airport, at O'Neill, we pride ourselves on being the most tech-savvy car rental company in Tobago. Our process is 100% digital. No paperwork, no long lines. From easy pickup to seamless returns, renting a car in Tobago has never been simpler. WhatsApp us now at 1-868-361-1042 to book your vehicle. Don't forget to mention promo code RADIO2 to receive a 5% discount on your rental. Send a WhatsApp message to 1-868-361-1042 today. That's 1-868-361-1042. O'Neill Auto Rentals Tobago, the easiest, most reliable car rental experience on the island.
Vehicle availability is subject to change. Driver must be at least 25 years old and have a valid driver's license to book. For more information, visit www.rentalcartobago.com.
Looking for a safe and relaxed professional massage therapist and nutritionist? Look no further. Nature's Touch with Empress Judy and Associates offers a natural approach to better health. Treat yourself to a professional massage therapy and nutrition advice in a safe and relaxed atmosphere. Rejuvenate your body, mind, and soul at Nature's Touch Therapy. For an appointment, please call or WhatsApp 1-868-398-8282. or visit our Facebook page. Remember, your health is our responsibility at Nature's Touch.
The mid-year loan explosion is on at the Mount Pleasant Credit Union. Don't delay. Apply today for any of our loan packages from $20,000 all the way to $100,000. Mid-year loan promotion. Get a chance to spin the wheel for your rate and a chance to win gift certificate prizes. The third prize, $2,000 worth of groceries. Second prize, $3,500 worth of power tools. And the first prize, $5,000 in appliances. Promotion runs from April 1st to July 9th. Draw date the 14th of July 2025. You call 639-8375 to make your appointment or visit the branches at Canby or Bonaccord or email loans@mpcutobago.com or visit www.mpcutobago.com. Approved by the NLCB. Special conditions apply. It's the mid-year loan explosion at the Mount Pleasant Credit Union. Don't delay. Apply today.
Trinidad, let's do it.
White Oak One Caribbean Music Festival.
Indian Arrival Holiday Weekend.
Saturday, May 31st at the Queen's Park Savannah, Port of Spain, Trinidad. Coming to shake the Queen's Park Savannah.
From Ghana,
mega superstar Molly.
With the body, of course. Oh, you're dealing with the boss. If we break up, yeah, you know that it's a loss.
King of Dancehall, Vibes Cartel.
Rub it and you rub it and you rub it and you rub it like a genie in a buckle. You them love it.
The Queen of Steve, Lady Lava.
Lady Lava.
Get your tickets now.
Secure your spot online at islandetickets.com, frontlineticketing.com, or OneCaribbeanMusicFestival.com. Call 794-6263.
White Oak One Caribbean Music Festival. Saturday, May 31st at the Queen's Park Savannah.
Powered by California Stucco. Sponsored by FT Car Care Center and B-Mobile.
Just rewind, let me shake it to the max.
Think you've got the spark to light up the airwaves or the drive to seal the next big deal? The Street 919 FM is on the hunt for fresh voices and bold talent. Whether you're a natural-born entertainer ready to command the mic or a savvy sales star ready to crush targets, this is your chance to shine with the station that defends the nation. Radio stars bring the energy, passion, and charisma. We're looking for dynamic personalities to electrify our airwaves. Sales executives, if you're a go-getter with the hunger to succeed and build lasting relationships, we want you on our team. Show us what you've got. Send your demo or resume today to thestreet919fm@gmail.com and take your shot at greatness. The Street 919 FM, the official station that defends the nation. Join the movement. Become the next big thing.
Join the winning team with Pastor Alkaline John
every Tuesday from 11:05 a.m. to 12 noon and every Thursday night from 8 to 9 p.m.
live on the Street 919 FM as he talks about Lviv, the power of 5 fruits, one of the most powerful antioxidant supplements on the market today. The 5 superfruits in Lviv are mangosteen, acai, pomegranate, goji, and nuni. These fruits have a positive and profound impact on human health performance and disease. Join him as he gives live testimonials of the Lviv healing powers. To get more information, you can contact Pastor Alkaline John at 516-286-7079 or you can visit his webpage at www.alkalinejohn.com. Remember,
every Tuesday from 11:05 a.m. to 12 noon and every Thursday night from 8 to 9 p.m.
live on the Street 919 FM.
The wait is finally over. The Street 919 FM is powering up its digital presence with the launch of its vibrant new website, www.thestreet919fm.com. Now you can take the energy of the street with you wherever you go. Immerse yourself in a dynamic world of the hottest music, thought-provoking talk shows, exclusive interviews, and non-stop entertainment. Stay informed with the latest news updates and essential information, all just a click away. Don't miss out on being part of the Street 919 FM community online. Head over to www.thestreet919fm.com today and experience the rhythm of the street like never before.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Brotherhood is required. Brotherhood is demanded. Brotherhood is obligatory. Black man get up, black man stand up, black man you better listen. So there's a need for brotherhood. Black man get up, black man stand up, black man you better listen. Black man get up, black man stand up, black man you better listen. Brotherhood is demanded. Black man get up, black man stand up, black man you better listen. Brotherhood is required. Brotherhood is demanded. Brotherhood is obligatory. Brotherhood is essential, it is urgent, and it is compulsory. But the time demands brotherhood. Whenever the dominant white society fears for its economic future, racial tensions are always aggravated. The aim of Almighty God is to bring the black man and woman together. The aim of Almighty God is that we, no matter how divided we have been in the past, must experience unity in order to gain the success that we seek and the progress that we desire. There is no way that a divided people can build a future. Brotherhood is required. Brotherhood is demanded. So there's a need for brotherhood. But if you walk the earth proud and arrogant, you never learn your lesson because you think you already know. And how in the hell could you know and be in the shape that we're in? How can there be any brotherhood if there's not even the honoring of a word?
Black man, get up. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen. Black man, get up. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen. Black man, get up. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen.
But the Quran and the Bible bear witness that the heavens and the earth were created with truth.
Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen.
Brotherhood is required. Brotherhood is demanded. Brotherhood is obligatory. Brotherhood is essential. It is urgent and it is compulsory. I feel that every man that wants to speak should have the right. And if you think you know it better, get on up and get on and do the job. But if you don't know what to do, and all your mouth is able to do is condemn and criticize, but you have no works to show the rightness of your philosophical adherence, then maybe you should rethink your position.
Welcome back and welcome to the second hour of the Black Agenda here on the Street 919 FM. And we're going up to 9 o'clock, reminding you that tomorrow at the Kwame Center, 11 o'clock, we do part 2 of the African Liberation Day address. Who is Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso? The heavy facts, the heavy details, the most important information that for some reason we're not getting through mainstream media. Now, we're accustomed with that. We're accustomed with this whole media blackout kind of approach, as if we won't read and research for ourselves. But I think it's just a matter of time before he's covered as he should be in our local media. Also, today we start back the Boys Academy sessions at the Kwame Ture Center. Free breakfast from 10 o'clock, and then the session begins at 10:30. Youth motivation session. Today I'm doing the session, and the theme is on setting goals for the future. Young people setting goals for the future. It's a very powerful presentation. So bring out the youth, bring out the young people, send them. Anyone 17 years and under, they'll get breakfast at 10 o'clock, and then after that we have the session. And then this afternoon at 1 o'clock, our brother Yusuf, who's a journalist in Palestine, in the Gaza. He came into Trinidad yesterday, and he will be giving a first-hand account of what he would have witnessed out there. It will be an incredible session. Let's go back to our phone lines, 342-0081 and 466-5391. Caller, are you there?
Yes, Mr. Brother
All right.
Mohammed.
Yes.
This is the same caller before the break.
Oh.
And I was making the point that is it because women are more vulnerable
Right.
that they are applying for the FUL?
Well, I can understand that part of it, but, you know, my bigger concern is that, and I think just before the break came, we were talking about the cases. I remember in the 1990s, there was a case of a Chinese supermarket, George Street around there, where a man, the Chinese owner of the store, had arrived. He had just come back to his store, and he met one of the cashiers on the street who said to him, who pointed out two young men and said, those two men just robbed the store. He pulled out his licensed firearm, killed both of them on the spot, shot one point blank range in the chest, shot the other one point blank range in the head. He never spent a day in prison. He took information on hearsay information, and he's probably still doing business very well today, happy as ever. You had the case of the nephew of former government minister Ken Valley, who was in the area of Felicity in central Trinidad. He went to see a friend, but someone saw him, felt that he was there to engage in some trouble, shot him, killed him. Now, the person who did that, to the best of my knowledge, they never went to prison. That's three killings there that were not murders, but they were homicides, according to the state. Look, just yesterday in Tobago, a 72-year-old man.
Pensioner, yes.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yes.
Apparently, he went for a walk.
Yes, and
Was near someone's. Now, I know it was a police officer, but it's the same kind of scenario that would play out with a licensed firearm holder. He is near someone's property.
He became disoriented. Did he become disoriented?
Yeah. Apparently, he had this dementia.
Mental dementia, yes.
But as far as the licensed firearm holder was concerned, he's on my property. He's a threat. I can kill him. Now, if you trace back in Trinidad and Tobago society for the last, say, 30, 40, 50 years, and you look up all of the cases of homicides that were not categorized as murders, I don't have an official statistic, but my estimation would be at least 95% of them were African people. Now, if we broaden the legislation and make the law so that even more people can access licensed firearms, then we run the risk of an amplification of those kinds of mishaps. But none of them will go down as murders. So the murder rate might go down, but the homicide rate will probably double or triple. And in addition to that, we have to take into consideration the fact that there's this attitude among some citizens in our society, and you see it on social media. For example, when young men are killed by the police, there are certain people who go on social media and express such joy, such happiness. It's almost like they celebrate when young African men are killed by police officers. Listen, let me tell you something. I saw...
There's nothing to rejoice over.
Exactly. But now, my beloved sister, think, okay? Someone with that mentality. Police killed 2 people. Say they were bandits, or as we see the story goes, say they shot at them first. Now, imagine someone with that mentality having a licensed firearm. Just think of that. Let that marinate on your brain for a moment.
Horrific.
It's scary.
Scary.
Think of someone who goes on social media. They just read in the news that the police killed 3 black youth up in Tunapuna or Mova or Rima or somewhere. And then they go on social media and say, good, it's good for them. They always trying to get in trouble. You see?
They deserve that.
Yes, they deserve that. They need to go and kill more and so. Imagine someone with that kind of brain.
Mentality.
Being given a licensed firearm.
Well,
listen, is you and me at risk there, you know? Because if you're walking down the street or walking in a residential area.
I bounce into somebody.
Exactly, and they don't recognize you. And they discharge their firearm on you, it will be easy for them to say, well, he was a threat.
Yes, because you bounced into me.
Oh, man.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, my beloved sister.
And I'm listening to
Thank you. And let me tell you about an experience I had yesterday. I spoke to a young man, and I'm sure many of you would have seen this video. What I am about to say to you is shocking and unbelievable. I don't want to identify the individual, but any of you who know what I'm talking about, you'll have an idea. Did you know that there was a young man, I spoke to him yesterday. Did you know, Trinidad and Tobago, there was a young man who was shot 28 times by the police? Listen to what I'm saying. A young black male. He's not a criminal to the best of my knowledge. His father was someone who the state saw as a gang leader or community leader from central Trinidad. His son was shot 28 times by a police officer. I spoke to that young man yesterday. There's a video that's going around, because I saw the video first, and I know the family, but I wasn't as familiar with him. Listen, there's a video of a man explaining a story. He says he's sitting in his car, and he puts his 2 arms out the window. And he's explaining. I wish I could find the video. Some of you probably know it. I really wish, if anyone has the video, please send it to me and I'll play the audio from it. So he's explaining what happened. He put his 2 arms out the driver's door. And he said the police officer was telling him, put your hands back in the vehicle. And then he says, no, I'm not doing that, because if I put my hands back in the vehicle, you all will say that I was reaching for a gun. So I'm leaving my hands right here. They shot him on his forearms. He picked up about 2 bullets in his forearms, pulled inside and started to duck. The police officer continues shooting at him. He got shot in his side, in his buttocks, in his leg. And he said his head is down. I think he even got scraped on his head. Head is down. And he said he's trying to put the car in gear just to get away. Just to get away. Even if he crashed into a wall, he is being shot multiple times. He's still conscious. Tries to put the car in gear and stay with his elbow. Policeman just shooting at him. Now, apparently, again, I don't know what to what level this case has gotten to. But imagine, the officer, from what I understand, said something like, he's lying because I only had 24 rounds in my magazine, and he said he was shot 28 times. You see the level that we're on? Now, there's a video of this young man showing all of these bullet wounds. Another part of the story, which I didn't hear from him, but I heard from someone else, apparently they picked him up and took him to the health center, and he said, I don't want you all taking me in, and he walked in. I know this sounds unbelievable. I know it sounds unbelievable. I'm going to find out a bit more, and I'll talk about it a bit more if I can. But this young man, I think he's about 34 years old. Again, I spoke to him yesterday on video call. He's an incredible young man. But you need to try to find this video, right? I saw it on a good few people's status on WhatsApp yesterday, because I think it was just like released. And he's explaining everything, and he's showing you all the bullet wounds in his body, but he survives. It's so shocking. But apparently, while this shooting was taking place, the police officer was telling him about his father. And he was blaming him for something with the effect of, because of your father, so because I think that the police officer had a relative who was killed, and it was linked to the father of the person who was shot 28 times. But, of course, be that true or not, as a police officer, you don't have the right to go up to a person who you think has a relative who was implicated in a crime against one of your relatives and literally try to execute them. That's insane. You know, it would be great to bring this young man into the studio and let him explain this. Because again, you wonder sometimes how stories like this aren't like mainstream front page news talking points. And we have a system as well in our country that once something is under review or question, or there's some court situation, there's this gag order, and it's a way of hiding the truth. But Allah says in the Quran in Surah 21 that when truth comes, falsehood vanishes. And Allah says we hurl truth at falsehood and knock out its brains, and falsehood disappears. That's the kind of truth that needs to be spoken today. The kind of truth that will make falsehood disappear. A young man shot 28 times, and he did not commit a crime by a police officer. All right. Let's go back to the phone. Oh, I had a caller online.
Morning.
Oh, my goodness. Caller, I'm so sorry.
That's all right, brother David. Morning.
No,
morning.
no, I'm so
Very
sorry.
explaining is important.
It's horrifying, isn't it?
Yeah.
28 times, and he survived, like... Oh.
And you see, yes, how to treat those situations in isolation and with the personality, because you can get a broad brush, as it's got, you know, everybody like that now, but it has have the different personal stories that has bring about these stories now. Brother David, morning to your listeners, morning to trying to be good. Here, and morning to you. Yes, sir. Of particular importance to me with these standing ground laws and stuff like that is what, you know, all visible principles is governed by invisible and imperceivable principles, right? And with the demand that is taking place. I would like somebody to keep track of, as a matter of fact, I would like to know who are all the gun dealers in Trinidad and Tobago. Is there any gun importation license being increased?
You're opening another can of worms.
Listen now, Miss Brother David.
Because not to cut you, but you see that last police commissioner who was arrested and detained for
and
a couple
all
of
this
days?
sort of thing.
There was one Syrian gun dealer who was so carefully protected. And this is the second time we have a local white gun dealer who was protected by the state.
Listen now. Let me add to what you're saying, Brother David. The police was accused of kidnapping a certain brother also from a certain country and stuff like. You know, the journalism in this country, so he was heading somewhere. You know the place he was heading had Bacchanal. Anyway, Brother David, my interest is in that. And I hope that, you know, let me pass out the politics. We deal with facts and realities and things we have to deal with in the country. And I hope there is use of the Freedom of Information Act to bring these things to the fore. And we need to know who is the legitimate import gun dealers, who they were in the past. We need a list. We need a list of who getting gun dealer license because I kid you not.
Yeah, there's been an ethnic bias in this country since the 1990s that I'm aware of. I'm sure it goes back before that, but there's been an ethnic bias there were several top African businessmen who applied for firearm users licenses that did not get them.
Right.
And there were persons of other ethnic groups who were much less established, and I can actually name two right now, but I won't name them.
So you can imagine how much of these issues could slip through the crack. And I wouldn't say do what it is intended to do. I wouldn't go so far. But there was once a Nazi supporter, they interview him in America. He walked back on a couch drinking a beer. He say, so you don't like black people? He said, no, I don't like
listen,
black people.
Sorry, you'll have to call back. The ads are coming up, but thank you.
So pay. And so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street 919 FM.
White Oak One Caribbean Music Festival, Saturday, May 31st at the Queen's Park Savannah, featuring the greatest gathering of entertainers in the world. The King of Dancehall, Vibes Cartel.
Trinidad, let's do it.
Representing Trinidad and Tobago, Chutney Soca King, Ravi B. With full band.
The girl them hot up like Papa in the party.
KMC. The Queen of Steam, Lady Lava.
I'm not Bob the Builder. I'm not building no man for future.
Treaty. Get your tickets now
at all cachet outlets, Solera Wines and Spirits, Big Life Apparel location, 519 Restaurant and Bar, C3 Mall, San Fernando. For more info, call 794-6263.
The King of Dancehall, Vibes Cartel, the legendary Sizzla Kalonji from Ghana, mega superstar Molly, and much more. White Oak One Caribbean Music Festival,
powered by California Stucco, sponsored by B-Mobile.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
All right, let's go back to the phones. 342-0081 and 466-5391. Calling, good morning.
Yeah, Brother David, morning again. Thanks. I'll try not to be too long again. So you rock back because he's a Nazi supporter, Federation flag supporter, everything. So they say, so what? You kill black people if you get a chance. You rock back with his cigar. You say, no, I don't have to do that. All I got to do is fill a van with some whiskey, some drugs, and some of the best weapons that we got. Send it up in their neighborhood, and I just turn on the TV and I watch the news, brother. That man ain't telling no lies, you know. And this is the risk that we take. Because, you know, how are we going to get rid of this ambition, this We love to hear that pack. We, black people love to hear that, you know, Brother David. But we not studying at the end of that song how much lives be destroyed. We not studying the beauty of watching a man lie on the ground and they deal with him. We not watching what that's doing to our community, you know, and they sell this violent temerity, they sell this violent mindset as something that has to be a part of us. You know, in closing, connected to Ibrahim Traore, thank you, Brother David, for blazing this issue, because it amazes me how it isn't mainstream, how these things are not being in mainstream media then. You know, you had to go look for it on the internet and stuff like that to get all the information and stuff. And, you know, it begs the question, people like Langley, well, you hear he apologize, right?
I saw him try to clarify what he said.
Yeah, he started backpedal. He started to say, yeah, he's doing great things. He had all feeling shame, you know.
I saw that. And
yeah,
I'm willing to be, well, forgiving might be the wrong word, but
you want to lean towards,
I want to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Come out.
I want to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I've seen it in his eyes. So what I'm saying, in Trinidad and Tobago, we must be aware of, you know, we must be able to identify what is traitorism and selloutism to our black community. Brother David, I'll leave it there for now. Thank you very much.
My brother. And I've heard one commentator say of Ibrahim Traore, and it's not a bad analysis, but I heard one commentator try to make a point that the same way that Donald Trump is going all out to make America great again, Ibrahim Traore is doing something similar to make Africa great again. The only difference being that in order for Trump to make America great again, he has to treat some of his citizens unjustly. But in order for Traore to make Africa great again, it is for the benefit of all African citizens. And that's a major difference. It's an interesting comparison. Caller, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Good morning.
Morning. You know, concerning conditions of the language, because I can say right now, I remember when young people here, they're telling them to buy the land and buy one. Right? And that way for you right now. And African people only have to grow up and rise up in this country right now. If they are going to think that African people will kill out. Trust me. Yeah, so people, African people are wake up now. I wake up. For the still and sleep on Sunday morning. Nobody ain't get money. African people never get money. They can't sleep, never get no money. African people are sorry. Yeah, so good thing and people just free money. And just like free money, you know what get people money just to talk to them. So a young African people sit down and then work. And then look for and people can hear nothing. I think anyway, and give other money.
Thank you, my brother. I got the gist of what you said, but it wasn't very, very clear. But thank you. 342-0081 and 466-5391. And I'm still thinking about that video. Let's hope some investigative journalist would pick up on that. I mean, investigative journalists find interest in all kinds of things, but that young man who was shot 28 times by a police officer when he was fully unarmed, completely unarmed. Caller, good morning.
Assalamu alaikum, Mohammed.
Walaikum salam.
Greetings, my brother. Greetings.
Greetings.
Mohammed. Mohammed, you know, I'm saying to myself, I've been saying this for a while, if I was younger I would leave this country, you know. I would go to either Africa or some other part of the Caribbean. Because what I'm seeing, everybody may not see what I'm seeing. You understand? But we African people are here, we are in trouble. Plenty trouble, and we don't even understand this. You see what happened? There's always a generation, you understand? A black young generation that deviate from the tradition and that have us in trouble. You know, I said something on the TV, and I was speaking to some guy, somebody said this. There's a part in Nigeria where the women are the queens, and they are the ones that rule that area. And this queen mother, she was deliberating between two sets of people, with the land and the animals. And she sit down there listening to them. And the beauty about it is, whoever she said is wrong, they accept it. This is African culture. I remember years ago, I said to myself, I made three predictions. The three predictions I make is one, that is in Basel Pandey time, that Indians are going to rule this country. There's going to be a black president in America. But when he gets in power, he won't be a president. He can't do anything. I say I might not live to see it, but I live on a seat. And you see these girls that they give in this country here? That is my last prediction. You understand? I may not live to see it, but at least it start taking root. You understand? And this is what we have to look at. Understand? And African people, we have a way, we're not thinking. You see, look at the mainstream media this morning. Look at the headlines of all of them. We don't get that. We would never get that. Because you see, when you control the media, the judiciary, and the politics, you govern and you're in control of everything. And we don't understand where it's good. I hope that Mr. Alexander, when they intend to move the prison from Frederick Street, Port of Spain, they get land somewhere down Central and put one, you know. Because all the prison for locking up people is on the East-West corridor, you know. So people from South and Central, they don't commit no crime. Brother David, I spoke to you a long time, but I just like to hear our people's opinion and views. So we'll speak again next week. Have a nice day, my brother.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, my brother. And you know, on that issue of the prison, oh gosh, in teaching criminology in the UK, part of the syllabus entails examining prison systems in countries like Norway and Sweden. Now, I'm not saying that this should necessarily be implemented here, but I think it's worth a try, to be honest. The prisons in Norway are oh God. The prisons in Norway are literally like hotels or an Airbnb or some kind of guest house villa. I mean, you have your apartment, you have your own toilet and bath, you have a TV room, computer, you know, you have your whole bed, you have the dining set and so on. Really incredible. And the kinds of reactions, it's just amazing. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. That's a whole different culture, right? That's different. But I guess even if you watch that England, you have a police with a baton will control people who are criminals. Trinidad, you have police with guns and the bull running. So it's a different mindset, more developed mind of people, and you have people, as I was discussing a few weeks ago on the same station, we have in those countries citizens. Trinidad, we have more civilians. Even the people in government function like civilians, because a civilian decides that the country has to do something for him. A citizen, sorry, a civilian knows that he has the responsibility to make his country better. We don't have that here in this country. Everybody wants to get, and it's just about me. So we have a problem here with a mindset. And to change a mindset is almost impossible. We change the government. We can change our clothes. But to change your mind, that's something totally different. And if we can get the people to change their mindset of how they think presently, things will go a whole lot better. But that's like, I don't know, actions led to goal. It's not going to work really and truly. It's a dream, it's a nice illusion, but I'm not sure if it's actually possible. My brother, you have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Caller, good morning. Yes. Yes. I'm not hearing you clearly. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, how long I sit down, listening to the standing drum legislation. And I wonder why men like you and other black feminist men, like what you say, young black, right? Black people, like what you say that. I wonder how they really handle it standing drum. Or if they really got right, they don't right. Black people, they really choose that. And I'm really proven to be that it's not so right. Because, you understand what standing drum is? You know in America, they're proven to be is racism. You know that? And they try to get off of it. But we here try to bring it. And they always start to put in a black man to bring it. Like the racism, how serious they are. And deep. And men like you who support them, because I know you support them. You know you stand and you have nothing to say to me. But the street is going to tell us that, so you want many others. Because I can't understand. Oh, look how much youth die for this thing. As a youth man went with a next man to get stuff out. Because of the party, during COVID, there was calling at the cell, an Indian man walking his truck, and he came there and got down to two of them, and they were shouting around traffic. They couldn't forget the money. When they get to the cell, they forget the money. Man looked to the and come and say, man, and run down. And they don't be here, they don't fire, nothing. And you know why? Because I want an Indian who's your brother, that night, who's your brother, planning this thing against us, calling this is against us and our children. And we sit back here, quiet. I don't know what we're looking on. We like little ducks just waiting to be shoot one by one. I really don't understand. I don't understand these people at all. And men like you who is getting their head, they just call you. And why it is so they not all stress on this? But you just stay quiet. Yeah, so why we staying quiet? Why you want to stay quiet in this?
Brother.
Enjoy it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Again, wasn't hearing you very, very clearly, but I believe I got the gist of what she was saying. Caller, good morning.
Oh, yes. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Go ahead with the contribution.
David Mohammed. I listened to the program. And I want to say congratulations to the project that we passed last weekend with the Committee Center and also the Rastafari movement in bringing forth a successful program of the solidarity and also to the African Liberation Day. I mean, it was successful. It worked that all Africans in the diaspora, not only in Trinidad, really opened their consciousness to the reality of what's going on. Now, I want to declare something here, that in fact, what we have to really try to gain of our African people, and not only African people, but poor people. We have to recognize poor, because this world as it is, don't care how we would like to put it, if we go in all these scriptures, if we go in all the history, we will recognize the poor and the rich. We will recognize the word called slave, and the next one they call capitalist. Those four words make up one condition that we all, as poor slaves, slave poor, living under. The rich don't care. The scriptures show you that they will see their own, somehow, I will use we words, downfall in their time, because of they care nothing about harmony, consciousness to human existence. So the poor must start to unite his mind, associate his mind, organize his mind as one consciousness to go against the greedy human existence and this existence, which they are the problem at all times. When will the poor rise up? And the poor have to rise up. Poor, you have to rise up. Whether you're slave or you're poor, you have to rise up. This fragmented mind that we have, this mind of this one holding this ideology, this one holding this ideology, why do you think it's happening so? Because the high, what you just call them, government ordinance declaration of those who set a system to be like this, to encourage tyranny between us so that their system could survive. What do you really think going on? So when will the poor see it? When would we scattered minds, how they put us scattered to see it and change? All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
I hear you. I know how that's powerful.
Thank you very much.
Right, my brother.
Caller, good morning. Caller? What's that? Caller? Okay. Sounds like someone's...
You know what it said me? These bright black people, they sit back and hear racism. But I don't want to ask. Let me start with the comfortable with it. They know they don't know nothing. What's the problem with black people? They don't know for one another. And only they don't respect one another. Yeah, we know that. But we also saw that funny. Yeah, right. You know, I don't like this one, and I don't like that one, and I don't like he, and I don't like he, and I don't like he, and I don't like.
Okay. All right, thank you. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here, Brother David.
Yes, go ahead, please.
No, I have a problem with the Prime Minister working from home. You see, the documents that she has is confidential documents that she's carrying home to say that she's working from home. If you understand what I'm saying, I had a problem the last time, 2015, and I'm having a problem right now. with the Prime Minister telling me that she's working from home. I want to see the dilapidated conditions of the Prime Minister residence and the Whitehall so that you can justify what you're doing at home. And Brother David, we have a little way again to go now, but it's a new Africa that we're seeing coming out of what President Traoré have done.
Yeah. We have a long way to go. Caller?
Good morning, Brother David Mohammed.
Yes, good morning. You just have a few seconds, really.
Brother David Mohammed?
Yes.
There are certain times they get black conscious or what?
Well, we've seen it
when
before.
When they get black conscious to stand up for the black sister who wants us to be the leader of the political party, the PNM. They stand up for she.
Well, let's see the kind of support that she gets. Let's see the kind of support that she gets now. All right.
Brother David, return safe. Salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam, rahmatullah barakatuh. Thank you, my brother. Caller, are you there? So much still taking place on the political landscape. I don't think we ever truly and completely recover from an election season, so to speak. But as I've always made the point, regardless of whom or what, our unity is essential. I remember the boost in emancipation when the UNC government came in 1996, the first emancipation. And if that is what it takes for us to get conscious, well, we are like the dry bones in the valley in the book of Ezekiel. All right, so family, remember tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock at the Kwame Ture Center, we do part 2. Who is President Ibrahim Traoré? And this afternoon, we feature our journalist from Palestine. Stay tuned to The Street. Assalamu alaikum.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of The Street 919 FM.
Are you searching for answers to life's questions? Those things that disturb and concern you the most? Why all the wickedness? Why the suffering in the world? Will it end? Who is responsible? Well, if so, join us right here on The